Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, everyone? I am back at you this afternoon for a little solo cast and one short announcement. I actually had a phone call with Ben Davidson of Suspicious Observers a few hours ago, and we finally got it all nailed down. January 6th. Kind of ironic. It's the year-to-date anniversary of the so-called Capitol event at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. I think that's a pretty friendly time for everybody around the nation to tune in and to listen. I'm really looking forward to speaking with Ben. He's a great guy, and he's put a lot of work and a lot of effort into what he does, and I can respect and appreciate that. So the point of this solo cast today is the spiritual divide. Now, we're obviously on the tail end of this. It isn't really as much of an issue as it was about 2 years ago. It's starting to repair itself, which I'm grateful for. However, there's still remnants and trickles of it going on. So what I mean by the spiritual divide. So in my videos, when I talk about that virus, we're going to coin it as the Modelo virus, because I do not want to get flagged and have YouTube and everybody else up my butt about what I'm saying, because they're going to try to do that. So when the Modelo virus came along, there was a split between the spiritual community. You had people taking the side of believing freedom is a very spiritual thing, which I am on that side. I did not choose to take that side per se. It's kind of where I've gravitated. And, having spiritual sovereignty is a beautiful thing. And then you have the other side, which, they claim to be spiritual. However, they were supporting the lockdowns, the mask mandates, and the vaccine mandates. So this caused a problem in our little spiritual community for a while. You had people who just could not agree. I think with all of the new information that has been coming out about the Modelo virus situation has really hopefully opened the eyes to some people of their mistakes. I come from the mindset too that, freedom and freedom of choice are very spiritual things. And being spiritually sovereign is a special thing as well. And what I mean by spiritually sovereign is you are your own energy. You radiate and vibrate your frequency in the highest possible frequency you can. You do not have influence from outside sources. You have the discernment to pick and choose what you believe is truthful and factual information, as opposed to having somebody tell you what it is. Of course, it's a broader definition than that, but because this is a solo cast, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. So the spiritual divide has been mending itself, thankfully. And I'm happy about that, because we cannot be falling prey to the divide and conquer techniques that, quote unquote, they like to use to keep us divided and fighting amongst ourselves. And really, when you look at everything nowadays, all of us really want the same thing. We really are reaching and striving for the same goal. The problem is our petty differences are what are emphasized instead of the common good. I hope to change that with this that I'm doing right here, because honestly, we all do want the same thing. So I digress back to the divide. My opinion on it is it sucked. It sucked that a lot of people in my circle, and as well as all of our other circles, got caught up in the stage show, got caught up in the manipulation. It's my personal opinion, and I will state this, that if you are truly a spiritual person and you are spiritually sovereign, You can look at our establishment, our government, the world stage. You can look at this and you could see that this is not for us. This is not. And I know the other side of the argument continues to try to see the good in everything. And I can understand that, and I do try to see the good in everything, but it can be to a fault. It can be to a fault. And I even touched base on that in my last episode yesterday, that governments and establishments are not out for your best interest. They are out for their best interest. They have to have the disguise of it being for your best interest, or you would not go along. Case in point, let's say I had an evil agenda. I'm going to borrow this from JP Sears because he did it just great. He said it just fine. JP, much love to you, dude. I love what you do. Other than that, if I truly had an evil agenda and I went up to you and I showcased it as an evil agenda, would you follow it? Obviously not. You would look at me like you are an evil person. You are crazy. Of course I'm not going to follow this. But if I'm a person with an evil agenda, I'm smart enough to know to not make it sound like an evil agenda. And this is kind of what I saw during this whole scenario. This is kind of what I saw go down, is we had an evil agenda that was being disguised as a good thing for the benefit of people. And I'm really sad that a lot of us fell for it. I did not, at least I can speak for myself on that I did not fall for it. It just really sucks that a lot did. And I know quite a few people in the spiritual crowd who got either coerced into taking the vaccine or even praised the vaccine and what it does, and that's another thing that I disagree with on that side is us being spiritual. We're about holistic health. We want a holistic, healthy body, that is radiating in the highest frequency. We're only putting in the best foods. We're only putting in the best nourishment that we can get. And for somebody who claims to be spiritual to go against that, to me, that might be a lesson in compassion that I have to learn with and that I have to deal with. But for me, that is oxymoronic. It is. So I really don't want to cause any further division with this show, with this episode right here. I am only speaking on this because I feel like it needs to be said at this point, that we need to not play into what they, quote unquote, they want, and we need to rise above. We need to rise above this situation and remember to focus on our common good. I come from the background of belief that no government or establishment is a spiritually sound government or establishment. I mean, you look at our society today and it is devoid of all spirituality and God. There's a turnaround occurring though, which is great to see. There are little bits of light that are penetrating through right now, which I'm super happy. I'm so grateful to see that. And I hope it continues forth because I believe now we're on a very promising timeline. A lot of people might, debate me on that. I am not black-pilled. I feel that I am an optimist, maybe not to a fault per se, but an optimist that I do feel we are on a good timeline right now to have a very good sequence of events that's going to in its own nurturing way, usher us into a new age of humanity, which I'm sure all of us are looking forward to. So, other than that, I'm dropping off on this one. Sorry, I still sound like shit. I am trying my damnedest. So, until next time, guys, I know last night I was supposed to do dissecting the double standards. Still not feeling 100% well, so that will be coming out this evening. Until next time, y'all.